All right, welcome. Today we have Spencer Caldwell here on the YouTube channel. And so Spencer is actually a relative of mine in a way, right?
Yeah.
We both married cousins, first cousins, so I don't know what that makes us, but
Yeah, cousin-in-laws.
yeah, cousin-in-laws. So
Right.
Spencer here, I'm actually in town here in Arizona for a football tournament for my kid. And so Spencer and I decided to sit down. Spencer's got a ton of knowledge in the real estate space and in the business space in general. So I wanted to sit down with him
Cool.
and talk a little bit about what he does and the experience he has. And so Spencer is originally from Arizona as well. So tell us about a little bit where you were raised, how you got into real estate.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So we're sitting in Gilbert, Arizona right now. I actually grew up on a pig farm just northeast 3 hours in a little town called Snowflake. So I'm a fifth generation Arizonan from Snowflake, and the town's named after my grandpa Flake, Snowflake.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is cool. So
Nice.
fifth generation. He was the first dude that rolled in there on the horse. So anyway, so I grew up there till I was 14. Parents got divorced. Everyone moves to the city for more opportunity after divorce. And so as far as like getting into real estate, I spent like almost 5 years at college, over 120 credit hours, headed to wanting to go to dental school, right? And I was taking all the pre-dental stuff, even the pre-dentist, the dental exam to get into dental school. And I had a relative get out of dental school with like $200,000 or $300,000 worth of debt. And at the time I was like in college, had as many as 4 jobs, debt free, just working so hard. And I'm like, I can't just go into debt that much. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to work for a summer and I'm going to save up. I'm going to go sell like pest control, whatever these guys do. Oh, really? You've done that?
That was me.
And you hear these crazy kids going and making $50,000, $100,000 in the summer. I'm like, hey, I'm going to go save up and I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to put some money down on dental school. So oddly enough, this was in 2005, almost 20 years ago. I had an uncle that was killing it in real estate right across, like in that building.
Nice.
So I started like 20 years ago in that building across the parking lot. And it's just an awesome uncle that said, hey, come sell real estate for me. And in 2005, everyone from California was buying houses. We literally sold 2,000 houses from people from California, Arizona houses. And in turn, we sold those and we managed those. And
Wow.
and after the year, I think I bought 10 houses, 10 rentals myself within that year. And I look back and I just never went to dental school. I've been doing real estate ever since.
Any regrets?
No, not at all. I love what I do. I love real estate. I'm just totally passionate about it, as you can tell. So no, it's been good. So that's a little bit about me and my background.
That's great. Let me rewind a little bit,
Oh,
okay?
shoot, okay.
Because we were in a similar situation. I was going through school, and I thought about doing the summer sales thing, and I actually did the summer sales thing. Went out knocking doors
No
for 2
way.
summers, put myself through college and all
Wow.
that. You took a different route. Why did you decide to go that different route with your uncle?
Oh, instead of
working-
summer sales?
Yeah.
I really didn't have an opportunity in front of me. I just knew I wanted to work and work hard and make good money.
Okay.
And they were selling literally hundreds and hundreds of houses, and I just knew there was an opportunity to do that. So it just really fell in my lap, and the timing was great, and it was a lot of work, and it was hard work. So I just had an opportunity, and I jumped at it.
Sometimes I think, for the listeners out there, I think a lot of times that's how people end up getting into things. The opportunity almost just presents itself to them. Kind
Right.
of falls in your lap and you kind of go with it, right? And so
Yeah.
a lot of times it's not planned out. You had planned to go to dental school.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the route that you ended up taking, right?
No.
So now tell us a little bit about, he's probably going to be real humble about it, but
Yeah.
Spencer, I was listening to some other podcast you were on earlier, and
Oh,
the guy
sure.
referred to Spencer's list.
Okay.
And I've been on your list for a long time. Not that I've bought any properties in Arizona, because
Yeah.
I've had other things going on, but I see it all the time. And what you've been able to do to me is like, holy cow, that's genius and that's smart, right? So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah.
I know there's big numbers. You've wholesaled and been involved with thousands and thousands of transactions. So tell us how it kind of started, because initially you started and essentially got into the foreclosure space.
Right.
But now you do a lot of wholesaling as well, right?
Right. So in 2005, I actually wasn't in the foreclosure or wholesaling whatsoever. I was actually just worked with investors, cash investors mostly, some financing, and was selling a lot of new builds and resells to these investors that were just turning them into rentals. So they weren't flipping them. Then the market, as we know, just crashed and we got killed right after 2005. And in 2009, I had a friend. We were riding bikes. He was a builder. And he's like, hey, I heard foreclosures are picking up. If you don't go down to the courthouse and start to help me buy like these discounted foreclosures, I'm going to go down there myself. And I'm like, no, I'm down there. I'll take it, because we were all like holy crap. When it crashed, it hit hard. I lost 10 rentals myself, like overnight. And, you get a 25-year-old millionaire that was net worth millionaire that like overnight just died off, like these crypto kids,
I bet that hurt.
I was a total crypto kid, right? So, but that's just kind of how it was. And so anyway, so that's how I got into the auctions. And auctions, I mean, we're buying 10 to 15 houses a day for 2 years and just cleaning up all the foreclosures and the financial mess. And then the auctions kind of cooled down a little bit, and then I got into wholesaling. And so that's kind of how it worked out.
It evolved.
Yeah, it evolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, what services do you provide on the wholesaling side? Because for a lot of the listeners that are probably listening, they just don't know what wholesaling is. Can you explain what wholesaling is and how, what role you play in that? Because I think you do play a very unique role, as opposed to your traditional wholesaler that we see on social media.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what wholesaling is, what role you play, and what your business model is.
Okay, great. So I really don't look at myself, like you said, a wholesaler. I'm really kind of an in-betweener.
You like connect the dots.
Yeah, connect the dots a little bit. Yeah, so I work with a lot of guys that are really good working directly with homeowners and getting discount properties from the homeowners. And then they basically send them to me, and I send them out to an email and to my Twitter and offer them an opportunity. So you said, hey, what is wholesale? So it's just like Dad's one-liner that he taught you, buy low, sell high, right?
Sure.
So wholesale is distressed properties. And the reason why real estate gets distressed is because of death, divorce, debt, those type of things, right? And so this house is just dilapidated, needs fixed up. They don't have the money before they sell it. And so it gets sold very discount, like 50, 60, 70 cents on the dollar. So the people that I work with go to those homeowners, they get the house under contract at 60 cents on the dollar because it needs a lot of work. And these people are in a dire situation that own the house and they need help getting out of it. And so they have the contract on the house. And then I go and advertise that house on my Twitter and my email list. And then the cash investor comes to me and says, hey, I'll pay that. So, just for weird number sakes, say they bought the house for $100,000 and it's worth $200,000. They will actually have a contract on it, an A to B contract for $100,000. And then what happens is they send the contract to me for how much they want to make, call it 120, 130, that wholesaler. And so they send out the contract for 120, and then I find a buyer, and that's called the B to C. And in between that B to C, I just make a flat, small fee. And so the wholesaler, the guy that tied it up from the original homeowner makes his $20,000. I make my small fee, and then it sells to my cash investor. So we only work with cash and hard money investors. And so this is like you're buying discount, and so you're buying it for 130, and it's still worth over two and a quarter, and you're going to go put cash in it. And you're going to go fix it up, and then you're going to go retail it. So I sell a lot. All the houses I'm selling are to people that are holding them as rentals, or they're buying them to fix them up and flip them on the open market. Yeah.
See, and I think what you do, like I say, is very unique from what you traditionally hear, right? You hear everybody talking about wholesaling, finding the distressed property, negotiating it down, getting it under contract, and then trying to resell it to the end buyer, right?
Right.
But what happens a lot of times is, and the reason why there's a need for you is there's a lot of people that get these homes under contract,
right?
But then they don't have the email list or the investor list to be able to find somebody to buy it quick enough, right?
Right.
So you have to turn these around pretty quick.
Yeah, they're quick. They're cash closing a week or two.
Yeah, and so you connect them to an investor that you've already worked with a lot, right? And take a small fee, which is genius, and it's a unique way of approaching, at least in my opinion, wholesaling, right? You're not out there scouring the market and talking to all these people trying to get these properties under contract. You're just being the middleman and connecting the dots with the investor and taking a small fee, which is, in my opinion, is extremely reasonable the fee that you take on those deals. So that's extremely unique. Is that something that's easy for somebody else to do? I mean, I know you've been at it for years. And I know it's your reputation that's built the confidence and everything, but is that something somebody could duplicate? Or
I think they probably could. It's a lot of work, but they definitely could do it. I don't see why they can't. It's just about what I call waking up and showing up and just doing it day in and day out, and so I think it is. Yeah, you can replicate it for sure.
So I remember a couple of years ago, right after we moved to Texas, because we live in Texas now, but I wanted to get more involved in real estate out here in the States, and you told me, I asked you, what should I do first? And you told me, build an investor list, right?
Oh, okay.
And that's the first thing you told me, because there's a lot of value in that, right?
Right.
And, you know, you can connect the dots for people. You can, you know, get investors hard money for a flip or whatever area of real estate you want to do. An investor list is a huge part of that.
Right,
So.
yeah, building an investor list, that's true. And one of my other mentors said recently, like, if he had to do it over, he would just focus 100% on raising capital, which is basically an investor's list.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, genius. So then, okay, so that's like the wholesaling side that you do a lot of, but you do a lot of foreclosures as well. And I think that's another extremely unique angle of what you do and the service that you provide. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I love foreclosures. I hate that people are losing their houses, but I love the aspect of the other side of buying a discounted house from the auction. So we actually create an auction list of all the houses in Arizona going to auction every single day. We scour the information and we produce that and email it out at 5 o'clock. The investors say, "Ooh, I like this house. It's in my neighborhood," or, "Oh, I've done something in this zip code or that city." And they say, "Hey, Spencer, I like this house. I want to buy it." I said, "Okay, great. So I'll go check title. I'll go do a drive report and drive it and say, 'Hey, here you go.'" And then they say, "Okay, here's my max bid." And then I go to the auction, which is the right place at the right time, and I try to pick up that property for them. And, you know, we're buying several houses a week through that foreclosure process for our investors, and they're getting great deals. And so wherever you're at, Arizona or whatever state in Arizona, if you're not and you're a real estate investor, you need to start focusing on foreclosures.
I think that's, you know, for a while there, I get the feeling, or at least this was my perception years ago, is that foreclosures was like way too complicated for the average investor, right?
Right.
And so as I've been following your list and I learned more about what you do, the service that you guys provide is awesome in my opinion.
Cool.
Because a lot of people, you know, you're nervous to even get into a foreclosure. Well, you don't know what it looks like, right? You guys drive it for them, right? You check it out, make sure everything checks out. You guys do a little research and put it in your list, and then the list that gets sent out every day, right? So you have this added, as an investor, like for me, for example, I have this added layer of, hey, Spencer's checked it out. Things must check out, right? Because if there's something drastically wrong, you won't put it on that list, or you'll highlight it and say, hey,
we're just not going to let them buy it. Do our best,
And so, you know, that's a huge benefit. So let's just say I wanted to get into that. And I wanted to buy something off and I had the money lined up with the hard money. However, I have the money there ready to go through hard money lender, or I have the capital. If somebody is diligent at it, what's the likelihood of them getting a property?
Yeah, I mean, the likelihood is if you're going to focus on it and give me 5 minutes every single day, just give me 5 minutes every single day for 30 days and you're going to get a property. Yeah. So
there you
that's all
have it, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's being in real estate for the last 11 years. That's one of the hardest things to do in real estate, is to find the good deals and find the properties, right? Yeah. So that's, I think, you know, in my opinion, one of the huge benefits that you bring to the table is that you're there to help people find these properties and like literally almost do it for them. You know, you guys go drive it. You guys bid on site for the foreclosure, right?
Yeah.
So you don't even, as the investor, I don't even have to go to the foreclosure site to do the bidding. You guys do it. You'll actually even front the money, the 10 grand, you know. Exactly. And then you know, then you work it out afterwards. But
we take as much of the pain out as possible, right? So if you want to flip a property and make some good money flipping, or buy a cheap rental in Arizona, we're definitely the go-to for sure.
I can vouch for that. Now you also post these properties not only on your email list, but you put them on your Twitter account, right?
So the auction properties we actually do just wholesale, just the wholesale. So as soon as I get the properties, you know, we're probably missing some good properties right here. So since we've been talking, 70 text messages, and within the 70
no joke, this guy, every time I'm with him, he's like responding to people, which is great. That's how much attention he gives everybody.
So within that 70, there's got to be a good property that we're missing. So as soon as I get the text,
we should end this, huh?
No. As soon as I get the text and the property, it goes immediately to my Twitter account. So you're getting live properties immediately. Of the discounted properties that are coming across in Arizona.
And there's no shortage of deals. Like you said, I've been following his Twitter for years, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. So if you're looking for a property, that's I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for properties in Arizona, the email list for the whole foreclosures and the wholesale deals. Okay, so you know, Spencer's the go-to for real estate here in Arizona. I would definitely recommend it. Now, tell us a little bit. You obviously have other businesses as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing one today right here, man.
Oh, my gosh. I got to go there. Maybe we'll go there tonight. He's got restaurants, all kinds of other ventures. So tell us just a little bit, you know, I guess, which ones do you want to share about? You got a bunch of them.
No, you know, so most of my businesses are like real estate based. They're like based around real estate. I've actually owned 3 different separate brokerages. We're sitting at Gentry today.
Okay.
So I own Gentry Real Estate and AZ Flat Fee, which is an awesome service to list properties for a flat $3,500 for full service.
Yeah, when I heard that concept you told me about, I was like, that's genius.
Yeah, it's a great business. We love it, and it's doing well. And then I also have Home Ladder Property Management, which is my property management company that manages all my rentals and all of my investors' rentals if they'll allow us to manage them. So mostly, I mean, they're all companies like that based around real estate. I mean, the other most exciting is my restaurant, Caldwell County BBQ. And, Caldwell County is basically our family's pride and joy. I mean, we're a big barbecue family. It's the best Central Texas barbecue you can get in Arizona.
It's awesome.
So we've got thousands and thousands of 5-star reviews, running around on Yelp and Google, about a 4.7 average on reviews. And so food is the Caldwell's love language.
Okay.
And we're going to go get some good food tonight. So anyway, so that's another exciting is just the restaurants.
And you're opening up another location, right, in Queen Creek?
Right. We've got a big 15,000 square foot that has a lot of different things in it, restaurant opening up in Queen Creek in the next few weeks. Got water turned on yesterday. And super stoked to bring the best barbecue in Arizona down to the Queen Creek area.
Dude, I'm always recommending. Anytime everybody goes to Arizona, I'm like, hey, go to our cousin's barbecue, and everybody comes back. That was so good. So
sweet, thank you.
You guys, if you're in the area, definitely go check it out.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously own several different businesses, and we talked about, your decision when you were in college to go into real estate. For me, I went another route for several years, and then eventually I found real estate, and I'm like, why did I do anything else?
Yeah.
And we were just talking to our nephew, I guess you could call him, and your son are both working here with you.
Right.
So I found that interesting and unique that you had Ethan already here working for you and whatnot. What do you recommend a young man or someone is real estate for everybody, or what? If you're thinking about real estate, what do you need to consider if you're going into it and you're young?
You know what, so you say going into it and young. So I personally suggest, like, if you're like just a middle-aged person that has a great day job that's creating cash flow, like, keep your day job and get into real estate, because you're just learning cash flow. And so you already have your day job that's creating cash flow. There are so many hours before you go to work and after work. So get off your butt more than when you're at work and just learn real estate. Like, tune into my YouTube, his YouTube, there's just so many places to learn. So if you've got a great day job with good cash flow, keep it and learn real estate. When you can maximize your cash flow as much as your day job, go ahead and quit your day job and do real estate full time, and then double that cash flow, correct? Likewise, if you're young and getting into it, you need to find someone that has already been really good at doing it, and go sit in their car with them, go on a ride along to drive to the house they're flipping, and just listen to them. How are they functioning? How do they look? I mean, just learn what they're doing. So there's so many different ways to do real estate, but find a professional. If you're young and looking to get into it, find a professional that's good at it, have them mentor you and pay for their lunch, take them to lunch, and see what they're doing to be successful.
Yeah, that's exactly what I told your son. And when he was in there, I was like, just learn from your dad. You won't go astray. Finding a mentor is a huge thing. I mean, I talk about it all the time on all my content.
Right.
I have when I was starting my real estate development business, I had one particular project, one of our first projects. It took me almost 6 years to figure out how to get it all going, because development's not easy.
Yeah.
And I found a mentor, and he had all my problems solved in 2 months.
Really?
And then it's just been off since there, right?
That's cool.
Having a mentor, even if you have to pay for it or whatever, it's so worth it.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing you mentioned, because I 100% agree with you, when you have a day job and you're getting into real estate, it doesn't make sense just to quit your job right away. Especially, there's a lot of benefits of having a job and doing real estate too. I mean, you can get great loan rates and things like that, W-2 income. Once you go into self-employed, it's a whole nother ballgame for getting loans and all that stuff, which I've experienced over the years, and I'm sure you have too. But, I always say, start with a side hustle that then becomes a full-time gig, right? You know, so it doesn't mean you necessarily need to quit your job forever, and you're not going to make millions with just a side hustle.
Yeah.
But you can start with a little side hustle or a side investment, and then at some point, you can replace your income and move on from that.
Exactly.
So.
Totally agree. That's awesome.
But yeah, so Spencer here, if you don't follow him, go follow him on social media. He's going to be putting out more content, and he's already got. You come to Arizona, and everybody knows who Spencer is, and so yeah, thanks for sitting down with us.
Hey, man.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe.